If you're watching on the stream, you can see the highest paid non-quarterbacks in the NFL. Parsons is 1, TJ Watt, Jamar Chase, Myles Garrett, Danielle Hunter, Max Crosby. If you scroll down on that list, you get to number 8, Michelle, and that would be one Nicholas J. Bosa. I have no idea if his middle name begins with a J, but that's what I'm going with. $34 million a year. I do wonder what effect this deal is going to have on Nick Bosa because, look, we know how this works, right? Guys get paid, then after a while, the market goes up. They want a new contract to reflect that. And the other part of this is that Nick Bosa's cap hit next year explodes. It doubles, basically. So they're going to be negotiating with Nick Bosa because his cap hit is 20.4 this year. It goes up to 42 million, which is still $5 million less than Micah Parsons just got, but nonetheless, $42 million next year. So how do you think this Parsons contract with Green Bay affects what Nick Bosa is going to want?
Yeah, I know. Now I do think he's going to probably ask for more money next year because they're going to want to change up this contract with the $42 million cap hit. That's just super, super high. They probably always intended to restructure at this point. But now that the market is blown up, that's what kind of stinks, right? They gave Nick Bosa such a big contract, so much higher than everyone else to begin with. And now you're like, well, now it looks good, right? It did take many, many years, though, for this to look like a good contract. But now he's just going to ask for more next year because everyone else is making more. Now, I would never, ever come close to paying Nick Bosa $48 million a year. I don't think he's close to the level of Parsons either because just Parsons is also able to be a great coverage linebacker, too. He can do multiple things. Bosa's literally just a pure pass rusher.
I totally agree with that. Bosa's fantastic against the run. He doesn't cover people because he's not a linebacker, but he's great against the run.
Yeah, is Parsons really bad against the run? I doubt that. I mean, I would have to look into it. But anyways, you did get the J right, and I feel like you knew that. You knew his middle name's John. I feel like you knew that.
Maybe I did somehow in the recesses of my brain, but go me. Thank you for looking that up, by the way.
So I just think that, again, right at this moment, it's like, wow, Nick Bosa looks like a great deal right now. He's going to ask for more next year. And if he's going to ask for close to the $47 million, I think they're going to have to say goodbye.
I would not say goodbye to Nick Bosa. Now, it'll help him to have a better year this year than he did last year, which I think he will. By all accounts, he looks absolutely phenomenal so far in preseason. I think the defensive line is flat out better than it was last year, which is going to help Nick Bosa. And
can we name a team that's won a Super Bowl lately or like has been dominant because of one great edge rusher on their team? I think it comes way more down to depth and having good quality depth on your defensive line where everyone's really, really solid, really good. And then you have depth guys that can come in and rotate. That seems to be the way to go, way more than having one really good player that offensive lines can just focus in on and stopping.
Well, obviously, you can't have one star and a bunch of scrubs, which you could argue that's how the 49ers roster is sort of set up this year of stars and scrubs. But if you only have one guy, yeah, that, you can game plan around that and it's not as impactful maybe as others. But like, look at the Rams in 2021, right? They had Aaron Donald. They had Leonard Floyd, who got 9.5 sacks, but Leonard Floyd had like 9.5 sacks for the Niners last year. We've seen how that can be a little less than impactful. And then the next leading sacker on that team was Von Miller, who had 5 sacks. So we've seen teams win with one really great pass rusher just as recently as 2021. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Fine. I just saying most of the time lately, right? I'm not saying there's no situations of it. I just all these top guys getting paid, their teams are no good. So is it just a coincidence or what?
The salaries are going up, man. Of course they're getting paid more. Like Peyton Manning, when he signed one of his deals with the Colts, he was getting like $11 million a year. And he was like the highest paid quarterback. It was ridiculous. But like they keep going up. So you could say like, oh, $47 million. It's like, yeah, well, what would you pay him? 40? Well, guess what? That's what it was, a little while ago. Now the market, yesterday's price is not today's price, as the kids say.
You think nothing of that the highest paid players in Myles Garrett and TJ Watt and Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson and Josh Hines Allen and Brian Burns. Those are all the top guys. I just skipped over to Danielle Hunter. He is making a lot per year, but it was just a 2-year contract. All those guys are on terrible, terrible teams. You think nothing of that?
No, because it's not their fault. Like they don't affect.
But he's not changing anything. And you know what? Just like quarterbacks change everything. Offensive line, I think, makes a bigger impact than edge rusher. I just think edge rushers are overvalued. I really do, because if you're paying these guys this money, that means they are such a difference maker. They are winning games for you. They are changing your record. They are changing your season. And that's why we're paying this amount of money for you. That's just not, I mean, I just listed off some of the worst defenses in the worst teams in the league. They're not changing anything for their teams, yet paying them such a large percentage of their cap space. Like the reason you're willing to pay the quarterback such a large percentage of the cap space is because without a quarterback, you're screwed, right? And that's a lot of these teams I named. They just haven't had a quarterback. But that's the point. It's like, if you don't have a quarterback, that's pretty much it. Like, I'm willing to pay $100 million for my quarterback at this point. Like, that's really the only thing that seems to really, truly matter is the quarterback and the offensive line.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone's arguing that a pass rusher is as important, as impactful as
he's getting $48 million is getting up towards Josh Allen money. I mean, Josh Allen just before the season was making $45 million a year.
And now he's making
60. But just last year, just before, I mean, this offseason, he was making $48 million a year. $45 million a year is, I mean, $47 million a year is getting up there with all the top quarterbacks in the league. Parsons is not close to having that impact of any of the top quarterbacks.
So are you saying this was a good trade by the Cowboys?
I think I might be talking myself into it. I think that
get the hell out of here. Before year, there wasn't $47 million wasn't the market for edge rushers, right? It was lower. But guess what? The market goes up every year, just like Josh Allen's contract went up. The edge rusher market went up.
Yeah. I mean, but also TJ Watt just reset the market at 41, and then the Packers went to 47. That's $6 million extra years. Pretty crazy. But also, I'm not saying the Cowboys are stupid, because they could have locked in Parsons last year. They're stupid for how long they've been taking. They could have locked in Parsons the second the season was done and the market was already much lower, right? The Cowboys are so stupid, and they run terribly. They could have got this deal done. But if truly what he needed was $47 million a year, and that's all he was going to take and nothing less than, that 42, 43, then I think I'm with the Cowboys here. I think it was time to move on. You get a couple of first round picks. You don't destroy your cap space on an edge rusher who cannot make the difference between you winning or losing a full season. I think that's fine.